2015 Honda Civic. Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
"20 degrees and cloudy, but the sun is starting to work its way through here on a fine day in Chicago on the south side. The Toronto Blue Jays, they've lost a couple of games in this series that have been heartbreakers, including on the very first night. 4 unearned runs, and then last night the bullpen unable to hold on to a 6-4 lead. Adam Eaton with a solo home run off of Roberto Osuna to win it for the White Sox. Josh Donaldson currently on this road trip, 8 for 24, 4 extra base hits and 8 RBIs. And Russell Martin against Samardzija in his career, 7 for 22 with 3 doubles. The big right-hander, 6'5", 225 out of the University of Notre Dame.
Gets ready for his 18th start of the season and second versus the Blue Jays. He comes into this game on a nice little roll, pitching some good ball, but he doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. Over his last 5 starts, he's 1-0 with 4 no decisions. The problem is the White Sox, again, have only been able to score 16 runs for him over that 5-start span. He's only given up 12 earned runs total over those last 5 games. So the record just 5-4 with a respectable earned run average at .433. Pitch against the Blue Jays earlier this year, 5 innings, did not give up an earned run, and got a no decision versus Toronto.
Behind Jeff Samardzija, a little bit of a different look on the infield, but not in the outfield. It's Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia left to right. In the infield, Connor Gillespie is at third. Moving over to short is Beckham, Sanchez, and LaRoche. Alexi Ramirez is out with a sore foot after fouling a pitch off of his left foot in last night's game. He had x-rays this morning, and Robert Ventura said that he could get some treatment and fill in late, but as of right now, he will not go. Samardzija, and he pours in a strike.
So you see Gordon Beckham will make his 4th start at shortstop. Last start June 25th at Detroit at shortstop. He can handle that. He's got good arm, good hands.
Travis leading off, and he looks at strike 2. Working the balls in strikes is Chad Fairchild. Marvin Hudson at third, Greg Gibson at second, and Sam Holbrook at first. Travis awaits, and he swings and misses, and scooped up by the catcher Soto and thrown over to first base. It's interesting when you look at the numbers, but Travis in that leadoff spot, Tabby, hitting under 200.
Well, you get this type of pitch right here, the 2-strike splitter from Jeff Samardzija, and it's a good one. He gets great leverage with those long arms and that big body. You mentioned he's 6'5". That's a devastating pitch, the splitter.
Donaldson has hit the White Sox pitching big time. He is hitting .571, 6 homers, 11 runs driven in. He has scored 12 times. Has a 4-game hit streak. 3 of those are multi-hit games. And in this series, he is 5 for 10. 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 4 RBIs. Samardzija, a swing and a miss.
I love how Josh is driving the ball to the gaps, to left center field and to right center field. He's staying on the ball, and I think he's going to have to do that against Samardzija because he's got so many different ways to get you out with the slider and the splitter like we talked about. Got to really stay on it. That's a good split.
Way out in front of it, and now Donaldson backs out of the batter's box to gather himself.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to stay on that ball and drive it like he has been in the left center field where he hit his double. Also hit another double to right center field in last night's game.
Pitch up. And you see all the scouts that are here on this Thursday early afternoon because his name is out there.
Told you there's a buzz, and the scouts are coming out. They're going to mark Samardzija.
Samardzija deals, and it's fouled off to the right side. Greg Zahn mentioned this, and this first inning, if he can just get through the first inning, he has been tough to deal with. He's allowed 19 runs overall on 5 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs, 7 walks, and 2 errors in the first. And the pitch is down low and away.
All the good ones. You got to get them early before they get into that groove. Batters are hitting over 400 against Smarja in the first inning. And the Blue Jays have the fireworks to get runs early.
Right-hander, grew up about 40 miles from the south side of Chicago in Indiana. Went to Valparaiso High School. Twists and fires. And did he go around? Yes, he did. As they check down the first base line. And the first 2 batters for the Blue Jays are out on strikes.
Fastball, it's got some tail to it on the outside part of the plate, and I don't think there's an argument there. It looked like Josh went around on that one.
Bautista has struggled in this series, just 1 for 13 with 2 RBIs. Last night he struck out 3 times. You see his season numbers, and can he get back on track with just 4 games remaining here in the first half of the season?
It's a day, it was a new day. You have to have a very short memory when you have a type of game that we saw yesterday from Jose. You don't see him strike out like that. 3 punch outs and a broken bat yesterday, and he's going to have to do it against Samardzija, where he hasn't had a lot of success against him in his career.
Just 1 for 7.
This is where you just let him go right here. 3-0. Might get that fastball. Let him swing away.
The 3-0 pitch, and he takes a strike. Jose Reyes getting the day off. Edwin Encarnacion also getting the day off. Chris Colabello. Smoke is on deck if Bautista can find his way to first base, and a breaking ball is called a strike, and the count now 3-2 after being down in the count 3-0.
Well, he can go anywhere right here. 3-2. He can throw anything. If he ends up losing him or throwing a pitch off the plate, he walks, and no big deal. And he throws him a changeup.
Swing and a miss. Blue Jays go down swinging as Samardzija strikes out the first 3 Jays that he faced. We head to the bottom of inning number 1. Fourth game of a 4-game set. His team last night scored 7 runs. Melky Cabrera against R.A. Dickey, 5 for 15 lifetime with a home run and 3 RBIs. And Avisail Garcia over the last 11 games hitting .395 with 3 doubles and 5 runs driven in.
The last time the Chicago White Sox scored at least 7 runs, you have to go all the way back to June the 25th. And they did that. That is the lineup that R.A. Dickey will face this afternoon as he gets ready for his 18th start of the season. Over his last 8, he's 1-4 with 3 no decisions. He had to pitch 6 innings for the first time in 5 starts in his last start. That was against the Tigers when he just went 5 2/3, gave up 11 hits and 5 earned runs. He has had his problems here in this ballpark. U.S. Cellular, 3 career starts, 18 runs in 12 innings, including 5 home runs.
Eaton was the hero last night as he hit a solo home run, and the first pitch is a strike. Dickey has lost his last 3 outings as that pitch floats in there inside. Run support hasn't been there. We talked about that in Detroit. Last time out he lost July 4th 8-3 to the Tigers. Over the last 3 games, just 7 runs of support, Tabby, as the count is now 1-2.
He's going to have to be sharp this afternoon. It looks like Jeff Smart just brought his A game already, so RA's got to match him. It's been a problem for him matching up against aces from the other teams. He's almost had to be perfect in every one of his starts. It seems like he's matched up against the David Prices in the American League and the Chris Archers and some of the great pitchers who are having big years. He's got another one this afternoon.
Pitch is low. Last time out it was David Price, as you mentioned. 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 run. It was earned a walk and 7 strikeouts. The 1 run that he allowed was a Pilar solo home run, and that came in the 5th inning as Eaton fouls it off. Day game here on the south side, and a quick turnaround for sure. Last night's game ended right after 11 o'clock Central. Players back at the ballpark early this morning. Hit high in the air left side. Calling for it, and underneath it is Donaldson. And there's one away here in the bottom of inning number 1. And so let's go ahead and set the defense. Ezequiel Carrera in left. Kevin Pilar in center, and Jose Bautista out in right. It's Donaldson. Ryan Goins gets a start at short. Devin Travis and Justin Smoke with his glove over at first base.
And there's the battery, Dickey and Martin this afternoon at shortstop. Last start for Ryan Goins at shortstop was May 24th versus Seattle. And coincidentally, the next day, Jose Reyes came off the disabled list. This is Ryan's 27th start this season at shortstop.
Jose Abreu looks at a strike. 2nd consecutive game for Abreu to be in that DH role, with LaRoche over at first base. Cabrera is on deck, and a big swing and a miss as Abreu strikes out.
Jose Abreu came into this game 3 for 6 with 3 home runs against R.A. Dickey, and R.A. makes quick work of him. The hard knuckleball. That time finishing off the big slugger.
Cabrera will bat left against the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Sometimes you'll see where switch hitters will go to their natural side
or bat right-handed,
right,
to really make it tough for a knuckleball pitcher. What it does is it really shuts down that area where you can throw that knuckleball. Closes the door, if you will. From the left side, it seems like you've got that whole opening.
0-2 the count. The 0-2, and a ground ball that gets away from Travis, scooped up by Goins in time. Nice little hustle by Goins to get over there as Travis had it pop away from his glove. Right back through the middle. Backhand. Takes a funny bounce. Goins right there. Turns and fires. 1, 2, 3. Playing first base, Tabby, today, and he has really come into his own here. Former #1 pick of the Texas Rangers.
11th overall in 2008. He has had seasons of 20 home runs, 19 and 15, and you can see what he's done over his last 38 games. 297 average, 6 home runs, an outstanding on-base plus slugging average at 987. On top of that, you're going to get top shelf type of defense, grade A defense from Justin Smoke.
Swing and a miss there. Second game that he's playing in this series. He played in game 2. Went out there for his defense, and the 0-1 swung on and hit the other way. Going back is Cabrera. Cabrera just shy of the wall, reels it in.
You know, that's one thing that I have noticed about Justin, being able to watch him now a lot, is he's got power the other way. We've seen him hit a couple of home runs to left field, and he just misses this. It's a splitter out and away from him, and he lifts the ball to left field. And momentarily it looked like it had a chance, but Melky gets back to haul it in right at the fence.
4-time All-Star Russell Martin looks at the pitch. Down and away, hitting .250, 12 homers and 39 runs driven in. Hitting in that 5th spot here today, as Samardzija has retired the first 4 that he has faced, and it's fouled off to the right side. One of the things when you go through the numbers of Jeff Samardzija that really stand out, this is his 18th outing of the year. In his previous 17, he has worked at least 7 innings 12 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A true #1, a guy that you can put at the top of your pitching rotation and you can count on. He has had, I don't want to say it's bad luck, but he just hasn't had the runs to work with in his career. He's got a losing record in his career, but he's got a good earned run average.
Ground ball chopper back at the second base bag. Sanchez over to first, and the dig by LaRoche. 2 down here in the top of the second.
You know, so tough to get a hit in the major leagues. First of all, the pitching is outstanding, and then you've got the type of defense like this right over the bag. I mean, directly over the bag. But Sanchez was shading him up the middle. He gets to it. It's got enough arm to get it over there close enough for LaRoche to pick it. Nice play.
Samardzija is 30 years of age, and to your point, he's 11 games under 500 in his career. His ERA is 3.92. And he's got Jose Quintana type of luck is what he's got. The most no decisions in the majors since 2012. Quintana 44. James Shields 40. And then Jeff Samardzija with 39.
You know what? I will take my chances with the Jeff Samardzija. He gives you innings. He gives you strikeouts. Pitches deep in the ball games.
Navarro lifts this one into shallow right center field, and another 1-2-3 here in the top of the second. Samardzija has seen 6 Jays. He has set him down. Let's go to the bottom of the second.
To get some points, go right now and enter the code MBJ2852, and you'll enter those My Blue Jays points simply for watching today's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. It must be entered by 11:59 tonight, but hey, we will have another code for you tomorrow. Matt?
Tomorrow, Kansas City. And the Royals are going to be without their all-star left fielder Alex Gordon, placed on the 15-day DL and expected to miss, Tabby, up to 8 weeks.
Yeah, some bad news. He's going after a fly ball yesterday. He had a groin injury, so not good news for Kansas City.
LaRoche, Garcia, Gillespie. LaRoche last night had a double and a pair of RBIs in the first inning. White Sox got on the board 3-0, but the Jays took a 4-3 lead in the top of the third. It was tied up in the bottom of the third, and eventually they led 6-4, and unfortunately Hendricks unable to keep it there, along with Loop and Cecil, Schultz, Delabar, and Osuna.
Yeah, a couple of bloopers. A little soft single to left field, scored a run, then an infield hit tied it up, and we went to extra innings.
And a swing and a miss. Second strikeout.
Ra's knuckleball is knuckling this afternoon. Watch this. With 2 strikes. Good movement as LaRoche swings through that one. His last start in Detroit, when he pitched just 5 2/3 innings, the knuckleball was very inconsistent. You saw a lot of tumbling pitches, a lot of pitches that were just rolling up to the plate and not getting the movement that he needs. Here's another good one.
Wind is blowing left to right at a steady pace. When you look at the flags out in center field. And the 0-1 to Garcia is fouled off. It's also a very cool day here for the south side of Chicago in July.
Yeah, a great day for baseball. Yeah. The sun isn't out, so the outfielders don't have to worry about losing the ball in the sun. It's cool, so you're not going to get tired playing today.
Garcia hitting .283, 7 homers and 36 runs driven in. The right fielder waits and gets underneath this one. Smoke is drifting over, continues to lean over, and unable to come away with that one.
There's the wind that you were just talking about. That ball pushed him all the way to the stands, and it kept drifting on him. Smoke normally has that one right in his back pocket, but he drifted, and then at the last second, watch how far he has to reach for that ball. Still wasn't there. That ball was blown over into foul territory.
Hit down the line in the right, curving foul again, and the count remains 1-2. You can see Garcia just way out. He's just hanging on for dear life there with the way that knuckleball is dancing.
He's taken a little bit different approach today. You can see he's a little bit more upright than he was in last night's game. Had a good game yesterday. Just trying to stay with that knuckleball.
Gillespie is on deck. Dickey. The 1-out pitch, ground ball, handled by the All-Star Donaldson over to first in time.
Save during the plumbing, cooling, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning, fourth and final game of this series, in the Blue Jays 2-4 on this road trip, and easily could be 4-2, Tabby, as Gillespie takes a strike.
Yeah, they've had some tough games where they got great pitching, just not enough hitting, where they committed an error, gave up a couple of unearned runs. Yeah, easily could be 4-2. This is a tough stretch for the Blue Jays. Yeah,
they knew that coming in, and with the way that they have played, their 7 games under 500 overall on the road, 18-25. They're 7-9 this season against the Central on the ground, and Smoke handles it, and he'll go to the bag, and it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the second. We head now to the top of the third, bottom third of the lineup for John Gibbons and the Blue Jays.
TV bundle for $62.97 per month for the first 3 months. Find out how to get it. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1.
Top of the third, it's going to be Pilar, Carrera, and Goins. Last night, Pilar in the third inning, a base hit and a run scored, was 2 for 3. A walk and a sack bunt. The sack bunt in the 11th did his job as he moved Goins, a pinch runner for Navarro, down to second base, and with one away, Travis and Reyes with opportunities but unable to come through.
You just want consistency, I think, when you're in the major leagues. You don't want those highs and you don't want those lows. And I think what Kevin has done, he has really leveled out that consistency. Over his last 25 games, he's had at least one hit in 21 of them. That's what you want to do. Get you one for the day. And then maybe get another one. Play good defense. Help the club out with a stolen base and a sacrifice bunt like you were saying last night. Be consistent. Starting to do that.
Swing and a miss as Samardzija deals. Samardzija has had success here at U.S. Cellular Field over his last 7 starts, 3-1 with a 3.06 ERA. With 46 strikeouts, he already has 3 strikeouts here, and it's fouled off to the right side. Beautiful day game here in Chicago as the sun now starts to work its way through the clouds. Eaton, a couple of steps toward the gap in right center field. And Samardzija, the big right-hander, to the plate and popped up to the right side. Breaking back with Sanchez, and now he races in, settles underneath it, and that's going to be first out here in the top of the 3rd.
7 up, 7 down for Samardzija. Let's take a look at the scouting report for the big right-hander. His pitch usage and the velocity. And look at the fastball at 94. He's also got the cutter at 92 miles an hour with a little bit of late movement, the slider, the splitter, and the changeup. And I love when he goes to 2 strikes, he can mix it up. He'll use that fastball 39% of the time, that splitter 22% of the time. He's got different ways to get you out. Can't sit on just one pitch.
Ezekiel Carrera grounds out. 8 up and 8 down, and here comes Goins.
And looking at the scouting report for Samardzija over his last few outings, the cutter seems to be becoming a prominent pitch for him, hitting just 208 over his last 5 starts.
So many people talk about specialization in sports. Well, he specialized in 2. An All-American wide receiver at the University of Notre Dame, played 2 in college. It's so difficult to do, and you have to hand it to Notre Dame to allow him to play both sports. Played baseball, of course, and played football. If you heard his interview with Hazel May, an excellent wide receiver, wore number 83. Great target in his final 2 seasons at Notre Dame. He caught 27 touchdown passes. In 2005, when he was a junior against Michigan State, the Spartans, he caught 3 TDs. And there was a chance, a lot of conversation whether or not he would play baseball or football.
I think he made the right decision.
I would agree.
He can play longer. He's going to make a lot of money at some point. And you don't take the physical pounding like you do in professional football.
A 1-year deal. Free agent at the end of the year, and he's making $9.8 million.
I love having athletes as starting pitchers because they can do different things. Athletes, being a good athlete is all about controlling your body. And if you're an athlete and you're a starting pitcher, you can control and you can make adjustments when you have to on certain pitches and do certain things. Samardzija's got all kind of ability.
Goins with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Samardzija with the 3-2 2-out pitch to the number 9 hitter, and he loses him as that one is high and outside. And with 2 outs, here's Devin Travis. Samardzija finished his Fighting Irish football career with 179 receptions. That's a Notre Dame record. 2,593 receiving yards as Travis lifts this one high in the air. LaRoche and Sanchez. It'll be Sanchez. No score as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Soto, Sanchez, and Beckham.
Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic. Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Bottom of the third, Soto, Sanchez, and Beckham. Giovanni Soto. Soto last night entered the game after Flowers got aboard and then Bonifacio ran for Tyler Flowers. Soto had an opportunity in the 10th where he just got underneath one and
thought he won it.
Yeah,
thought he won it for him.
Went all the way to the wall. He hit that a mile high. Dickey with a 1-1 and a line drive base hit through the left side. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jamie, what do you have for us? Blue Jays unable to capitalize last night in the East. Look up and down that division. Blue Jays now just one game over 500. And a swing and a miss by Carlos Sanchez, his second baseman.
Blue Jays can't take advantage of the Baltimore Orioles, who are slumping a little bit right now. They've lost 8 out of 10. Blue Jays have only been able to gain one game on the Orioles over the last 10.
And Tampa's lost 3 in a row, while Boston, they've won 4 in a row. And look at where the the Red Sox are.
Jamming it all up. Red Sox have won 8 out of 10. Tampa Bay has lost 9 out of 10. Blue Jays have lost 7 out of 10. Baltimore has lost 8 out of 10. And the Red Sox making a move.
Yankees leading in the middle of the 5th, 4-2 over Oakland. Kansas City leads Tampa 4-0. Games to keep track of here on this Thursday. And a pitch that just misses, and Russell Martin acknowledges Dickey on that offering.
Pretty good idea. It looks like it caught the plate according to pitch tracks. And you see Russell turning into the dugout to get some information. It looked like it got the plate.
Sanchez awaits. Here's a 2-2. Grounded foul. You look at the East, and then you look at other divisions around baseball, and it's there for the taking, Tabby.
Yeah, this is each division, the difference between first place and last place in the division. In the East, the bottom team is separated from the top team only by 5 games. Look at all the other divisions, 19 and 18, 12, 10. I mean, those teams have no chance, really. But everybody in the American League East has a chance. Who's going to get hot? Who's going to stay hot? Who's going to make moves to improve their ball club? A lot of decisions over the next 3 weeks.
Absolutely.
Big decisions.
Alex Anthopoulos, Tim and Sid the other day said that he didn't expect anything before the All-Star break, understandably so. Start to see things happen after the All-Star break. All-Star game in Cincinnati, Ohio, your hometown. As Sanchez fouls it off to the left side.
Those kind of things never get done until the last day, last hour sometimes, because everybody's holding out for a better deal. A team is holding out for more prospects if they want prospects, if they're trading veterans. The team that's trading for that guy, they're holding out to maybe get more money or fewer prospects as Sanchez strikes out. So it's all the way down to the end. But right now, it's a lot of fun to talk about. There's a lot of things in the pot right now that we're stirring around. Knuckleball again for Dickey. Second time in his career that he has struck out Sanchez. A long at bat by Sanchez.
Sanchez last night was 2 for 5. Here's Gordon Beckham playing shortstop. And that pitch misses inside. Well, it's one of the reasons we talked at the top about Jeff Samardzija and all the scouts. We've seen scouts in Detroit. They've followed the Blue Jays here as well to Chicago. Be interesting to see how it all plays out, because there are others out there that are looking as well.
Sure, and you're competing against all those teams. And the interesting thing about baseball now, there's a lot of parity in baseball. There's a lot of teams that think that they are in it and they have a shot. So that's just more teams that you have to deal with, and teams that think that they're in it. You'll hear them say, give me 2 more weeks, let me see where my team is in 2 weeks.
In the American League East, do you expect Toronto to be the most active when you look at those teams, or you think there will be some other teams that'll be out there?
I don't know if Toronto's going to be active being able to make trades. I think they're trying to make trades. I think they're calling people, they're calling in on, but it's too early to really start to get serious about this. I think every team is going to be in this. The thing that I see year after year after year is the surprises, the ones that come out of nowhere.
Hit behind home plate.
Last year, everybody was talking about James Shields and John Lester being traded, and then David Price
to the Tigers
goes from Tampa to the Tigers, and we're like, whoa, where did that come from?
We were there in Tampa during that time, and I think a lot of people felt it was going to happen this year.
Yes,
because he's at the end of his deal, so maybe wait. Beckham on the ground, a chance here for 2 out at second, and an inning-ending double play. 6-4-3 double play. No score here as we head to the top of the 4th. Donaldson has a 4-game hit streak, 3 multi-hit games, 6 RBIs during that stretch over the last 3 games, 5 for 10. And it's going to be Donaldson, Bautista, and Smoke here.
Well, you talk about extra base hits, and Josh Donaldson right behind Brian Dozier from the Minnesota Twins. You don't want on the corner of the infield, you don't want Punch and Judy type of hitters, singles type of hitters. You want guys who can drive the ball, and Josh can certainly do that. We've seen that already against the White Sox in this series. He's had a couple of doubles, a home run. extra base hits. Extra base hits means with that one hit, you're already in scoring position.
Of his 5 hits in this series, 4 extra base hits. As you mentioned, 2 doubles, 2 homers. He struck out back in the top of the first. And see if the Blue Jays can get at Samardzija here as the big right-hander deals. And the pitch is low. 2-0 is the count. Samardzija with a 2-0 and taking all the way.
Boy, a perfect pitch, 2-0. It's another thing that goes unnoticed with Samardzija. He doesn't give up the home run very often. Last 5 starts, he's only given up 1 long ball home run at Minnesota.
Ground ball handled by Beckham and over to first base. And there's 1 down here in the top of the 4th, and let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jamie. Scoreless here. Bautista lifts this one back at the second base bag, and Sanchez is right there, and the struggles continue for Jose. Mired in this slump and just unable to break out of it. He's 1 for 15 in the series. Smoke here with 2 outs in the 4th. The Blue Jays have had only 1 runner reach base, and that was Goins via a walk in the top of the 3rd as a strike is called. Smoke out of the University of South Carolina in Columbia, South Carolina. Went to high school with Matt Wieters. Goose Creek, South Carolina. And now Soto scoops it up in front of the plate. Tosses it back to Samardzija.
You know, Blue Jays are outscoring the world by a lot of runs. 470 runs. Against the White Sox, they've only scored 10 in this series. I mean, that's what good pitching does. It can shut down really good teams. The Blue Jays scored 6 of those 10 runs in yesterday's ball game.
Shift is on, and the shortstop takes it, fires over to first base. A 1-2-3 inning. won the game, Tabby.
He was saying after the game that I was actually trying to hit a home run, and he got a good pitch from Roberto Osuna, a 1-0 fastball that was up. He said, I've never done that before, but I was trying to hit a home run, and he's just lucky that it left the ballpark. Very excited about that. He had a second career walk-off home run last night. Got a little pop in that bat when you can get in that fastball.
You know, Greg Zahn was talking about it in the pregame show, just about the mistake there, because they went down and away to Osuna. First, he was looking to drag bunt it, and then they come back inside. And of course, Eaton able to turn on it and lift it over the right field wall, and maybe instead of keeping it away, if you're going to try to drag, bunt, and get on. That was his 6th home run.
I think that drag bunt that he was doing right there, I think that was all for show.
Yeah, just to set things up.
Well, just to take a look at Osuna. He had never faced him before, so he wanted to take a look at him. He fake bunted like that just to see what the ball looks like coming out of his hand, and got himself a fastball. He knew what to do with it.
Last night, I mean, look at, you're a leadoff hitter, walked in the bottom of the first, scored, hit by a pitch in the 5th, a single, and an RBI in the 6th inning, and then the home run. Is there room for Martin? Yes, as he makes the basket catch right up against the railing.
Yeah, he can do that with that exaggerated first baseman mitt that he can use with the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey on the mound. You can see that big glove. It's not the typical catcher's type of glove with all the padding in it. So you can go ahead and do that basket catch. Nice play.
Right up against the railing. Abreu struck out in the bottom of the 1st inning, his first time up. And Dickey deals, and it's fouled right back. And important to keep Eaton off of the base pass. He has 3 runs scored in this series. Deep in center is Pilar, and Abreu looks at a pitch, and the count 1-1.
Well, he's had 3 hits off of RA, and all of them have left the ballpark. That's why the outfield has to play deep.
Ground ball shot right back through the middle, and it's a base hit here with 1 away. Second hit off of Dickey. Blue Jays are hitless, and that's going to bring up Cabrera on this homestand. He's 9 for 20 with 3 doubles and 5 RBIs. And Cabrera, Tabby's hit in 7 straight games.
Starting to heat up. Boy, we saw Melky last year as a member of the Blue Jays just get white hot. And when he does that, he starts to drive the ball, starts to have a little bit more power, extra base pop in that bat.
Rick Hahn, the general manager, saying that he's surprised where his team is right now at 38 and 44. We spoke to Kenny Williams as that pitch gets away from Martin, and Abreu will head down to second base. And he was saying that I think they're surprised that the bats happen to come through, but Cabrera's starting to heat up.
Yeah, there'll be a point, I think, this season where the White Sox get those hitters. They all start hitting at the same time. This is a great hitter's ballpark, number 1. U.S. Cellular here in Chicago.
Goins plays it on a big hop and over to first to Smoke. 2 down.
Well, unfortunately, that pass ball, that would have been a double play right there. And you always have that knuckleball moving like that. He takes the double play out of order and leaves a runner in scoring position.
LaRoche struck out in the 2nd. White Sox will face the Northsiders starting tomorrow, the Cubs. They wrapped up a series against St. Louis. Robert Ventura, ex White Sox great. Manager for the White Sox as LaRoche gets underneath it, and the wind is weaving its way back in, and that's going to do it. We head now to the 5th. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update with Jamie and Zani.
Center. Join us as we turn the ballpark into a winter wonderland on Sunday, July 19th, when the Blue Jays host the Rays at 107. The first 20,000 fans will receive a pair of Blue Jays winter mittens. Go to BlueJays.com for more details. The Rays are going to be a little confused when they look in the stands and see all these fans bundled up.
Could have used those the last couple of nights.
Yeah, just don't wear them during the game, so when you cheer, we won't be able to hear you. It'll be muffled, right, when they start clapping?
Blue Jays are hitless as we head to the top of the 5th inning. It's Martin, Navarro, and Pilar. As Samardzija deals down low and away. Samardzija made his big league debut on July 25th of 2008. At the age of 23, it was against then the Florida Marlins. 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 1 earned run. Playing with the Cubs for 6+ years, and then sent to Oakland. Made 16 starts for Oakland. Had a record of 5-6 with a 3.14 ERA. Things that last season didn't, it didn't wrap up the way that the A's thought it would. That's for sure.
No. And to the advantage of the Blue Jays, if you will. I think them not winning, Josh Donaldson becomes a Blue Jay.
Yep. Yeah, excellent point. And a pitch.
Well, you mentioned Samardzija, his first big league game in 2008 with the Chicago Cubs. Who was his catcher? Giovanni Soto. Soto was with the Cubs back then, and he gets his former teammate right back here.
Into right field, Garcia, as he drifts toward the line with the wind carrying that ball.
We were talking about trade candidates last inning, and these are all the names that everyone is talking about that we keep seeing in reports. Johnny Cueto, that 261 earned run average, he's a true number 1. Hamels is a 1. Samardzija is a 1. And Papelbon, Jonathan Papelbon of the Philadelphia Phillies, an outstanding whip, a big-time closer who's been in the pressure-packed situations. It's going to cost you a lot in terms of prospects and players and money. But the team that goes out there and takes a chance, you got a chance to get some pretty good players.
It was interesting when we had our conversation the other day with Kenny Williams just about pitching and what he thinks of his pitching staff. He said, as you noted the other day, if you got pitching, it gives yourself a chance
every day. Every day.
And so, you know, as much as everybody thinks Samardzija is out there, maybe he is. It's a 1-year deal, and maybe he's looking for some other pieces. Maybe they decide to go ahead and deal him. But if you're thinking about other guys in the staff, that's just not going to happen. And remember, they went out and got their closer because that's what they thought that they were really missing, David Robertson.
Yep. Yeah. So you've got your starters and you got a pretty decent bullpen. They just need some hitting. What is someone like Johnny Cueto worth? What is something like Jeff Samardzija? What are they worth? You know what they're worth? They're worth what the other team is willing to give up. And right now, if you're the general manager and you have those players, you're asking for the moon.
Navarro on the ground to the right side. The issue with both of those players is that they can walk at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so I think if you're in a situation that you feel that you're one guy away from taking that next step, then fine. However, if you don't feel you're one guy away from taking that next step, that's a whole other different conversation. Would you agree or disagree?
Yes, it would cost you basically your future. Basically, because you're going to get 3, 4, 5 prospects and 2 really good ones. So those are the tough decisions that you have to make. And remember, they're not the only guys out there. The guys that we just showed. There's other people. Giovanni Gallardo. We saw him with the Texas Rangers. Maybe the Rangers sell him off and get a good asset, if you will, at the end of the trade deadline.
You know, it's a interesting situation because you look at that American League East, as every fan does on a daily basis, and they just say, hey, you add a couple of arms and it's there for the taking. But then, you know, you look up and down the farm system, and do you want to do that again? And the pitch is high, where you're dealing some prospects for some immediate help, and therein lies.
Hey, that's why those GMs, they sit in those big chairs. They have to make those tough decisions. And it's not just for this year.
Right. It's down the line. Because if you look at it, you say, okay, hey, you know what you have behind the plate. And Russell Martin, you know Devin Travis is a guy that you like. And you always think about up the middle, right? You think about the great Yankee teams. It was all up the middle. And you have Kevin Pillar out there in center field, everyday player.
Reyes isn't going anywhere. Signed for a few more seasons. Josh Donaldson's not going anywhere.
No. I mean, you're set right there. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. This one playing out here on the south side with Samardzija just dealing. He's yet to allow a hit.
headlines and analysis and schedules, read Shai Davidi and the rest of our great writers at sportsnet.ca. And something else you may want to check out is the Sportsnet Live Tracker. You can follow any MLB game with that tracker. This second screen experience delivers play-by-play updates, batter hit zone charts, and real-time win percentage. Get it by clicking any baseball game on the sportsnet.ca website or Sportsnet's new mobile app. Matt?
And check it out every day. It's great. Shai going casual here on this Casual Thursday. A must read every day as Garcia swings off the end of the bat, and Smoke has it go into right field, and Garcia heads up play, goes to second. Smoke, that's going to be his first error of the season.
Boy, an easy play also for Justin. You never see him make that type of play. An error. That is his first error in 91 ball games. An easy one, a ball that just stays down, just lifted that glove up a little bit too quickly, and ball rolls out into right field. Watch how the glove just comes up, anticipating that ball coming up. It stays down, and Garcia is an aggressive player. Avisail makes it into second base after the error.
Fans thinking about Jose Reyes in that ball staying down on a Monday night as Gillespie looks at a pitch outside. And that error, of course, Blue Jays ended up losing that game 4-2. That one stays down on Smoke. Donaldson in on the grass. Garcia with a lead at second. And a ground ball to the right side. Travis there. And the runner moves over to third, and there's one away.
There you go. That's how you manufacture runs. You try to take advantage of the opposition's mistake. You got a runner at second base, nobody out. Pull the ball to the right side. And now you've got a runner standing at third base, less than 2 outs.
The White Sox, they've won 7 of their last 9 games. And come into this series starting to pick it up a little bit. Still 6 games under 500. Garcia is at third with the infield in, and the pitch is strike. This is also where Martin's going to be on his toes with that knuckleball and a runner at third base.
RA wants a strikeout, so he tends to throw that knuckleball a little bit harder. This is where you want to really look that one into the glove. Try and keep your body in front of it as best you can.
Soto with a single in the third. He was part of a double play to get out of the inning. And the count now 3-1. Sanchez is on deck. And Dickey with the offering, and a swing and a miss.
That's the kind of swing that RA needs right there. That long, wild swing right there. That's where you get the strikeouts. The teams that have had controlled swings against RA, where they really track that ball, those are the ones that have had success against him.
Tapped off to the right side. Here at home, the White Sox over the last 8 games are 6-2. Garcia now at third after a 2-base error and a ground ball out, and the pitch misses in, and a 1-out walk, and runners at the corners here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Save during the plumbing, cooling, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Bottom of the fifth, runners at the corners, an error and a walk.
You know, they are starved for runs, so I expect anything to happen right here. You got to hold that runner on at first base. They might even try a squeeze at some point.
Oh, Sanchez swinging away and going back quickly. Goins, wow, with the number 8 hitter. I was thinking right along with you, runners at the corners. You know, trying to manufacture runs, especially with the way that Samardzija is pitching.
Exactly. Sometimes managers will give that hitter one shot to drive him in. He does, and to the benefit of the Blue Jays, doesn't get the ball deep enough into the outfield. I was thinking maybe a safety squeeze up the first base line because the first baseman has to hold that runner on. And now it's going to take a 2-out hit.
So Gordon Beckham is a batter. Runners at the corners. And the pitch misses up and in. Grounded into an inning-ending double play in the bottom of the third. Hitting under 200 on the year. And the pitch misses as it floats inside, and the count now 2-0. Trying to get out of the jam. A rare error, the first of the season for Smoke. And then a walk. Runners at the corners now. And it's 3-0. Adam Eaton. He's waiting on deck.
He was the hero at last night's ball game. See if R.A. challenges him here at 3-0 if he throws him a fastball. And he did. Good placement there, 3-0.
Soto at first, Garcia at third. Beckham the batter. And a pitch swing and a miss. 83 miles an hour. Goes back to it again.
He's thrown a few more today than I remember at any time over his last few starts.
Why do you think that is?
I think just to mix it up just a little bit. You know, give the hitter something else to think about.
Knuckleball that time, line foul. Soto at first, Garcia at third. We're scoreless.
Another one.
Went with the fastball after the knuckleball. Let's see what he does here. Runner will be moving on the pitch, 3-2 with 2 outs. A runner at first base is Soto. Garcia is at third. Foul back. Knuckler 77 miles an hour, and the fastball at 83, as you mentioned earlier, that hard knuckleball. Swing and a miss. Got him with the knuckleball, and he gets out of a jam here in the fifth. Beckham swings and misses for a strikeout. Let's go to the sixth. baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Here on Lake Michigan, Chicago, the Windy City, and it's certainly windy here this afternoon. The Shark out on the hill, Jeff Samardzija, dealing with Carrera, Goins, and then back to the top of the order. He has 4 strikeouts. The longest no-hit start of his career was the last time out. That was against Baltimore. Tabby worked 5 2/3.
A no-hit ball. He ended up giving up just 3 hits pitching into the 8th inning. In that ball game, you can see why he's going to be coveted. Now the White Sox, they don't have to deal him. The talk is that they would deal him because he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. But they can hold on to him right here and just re-sign him.
Comebacker, he handles it. And there's one down here in the top of the 6th inning. Dancing around a little bit, looks over at Gillespie and says, yeah, it's just like being a wide receiver going across the middle. Maybe that throws a little bit off target. I can get it.
Told you that he's a good athlete. He had to change spots right there, kind of open up again. I like how he caught that with 2 hands, just like a wide receiver going across the middle.
A 3-sport star in high school at Valparaiso. Football, basketball, and baseball. Drafted by the Cubs. Sent to Oakland and now signed back here in Chicago on the south side as the pitch is high. And the count 2-0 to Goins. Goins walked back in the 3rd. He was stranded there. The only Blue Jay that has reached base here today. Samardzija looks in. And the 2-0 pitch. It's a strike. Goins on the year 223 with 2 homers and 24 runs driven in. Goins rips this one into the gap and cut off by Garcia, and there goes the no-hit bid. So he's been on board twice. And a nice round of applause for Jeff Samardzija.
Yeah, the whole key to that at bat for Ryan Goins is he got ahead in the counts. 2-0, painted him with a fastball, and he had to challenge him. He's the number 9 hitter. You have to challenge him. He does with the fastball, and Ryan was waiting for that one. Almost got it into the gap for extra bases.
So Goins over at first base, and he's off and running, and a ground ball chopper. Unable to scoop it up as the third baseman Gillespie, and it heads out into shallow left field before it's recovered by Beckham. A base hit and runners at the corners, and here comes Josh Donaldson.
You got to make something happen when a pitcher is throwing the way that Samardzija's throwing tonight or today. You got to make something happen. So they start the runner, and Gillespie has had 12 errors already this year. Cannot come up with that short hop, and actually does the Blue Jays a favor by kicking it out into left field. Ball off of his glove, and that allows Goins to move up to third base. But that's the right play right there. Give up a base hit, the first hit of the ball game. Then you've got Devin Travis at the plate. You can play hit and run with him, and it works for the Blue Jays.
It is a base hit. There's no way that Gillespie, even if he came up with it, would he be able to throw out Travis. Travis is at first, and Goins is at third. Josh Donaldson struck out in the first, grounded out in the 4th. Can he do some damage here? Fouls it off to the right side. 6 home runs in 6 games against the White Sox. You have to go back to 2007 to find the last time someone hit 7 home runs in a year against the White Sox. Justin Morneau. It took him, though, 18 games.
Playing within the same division, so you get to see him a lot. Blue Jays have the right guy up there.
Yeah.
Now you can see what Josh is doing there. Couple of fastballs from Samardzija. Fouled the first one off to the right. Tried to come back in there. It's almost like he's looking for an off-speed pitch. The slider or the splitter right here.
Goins at third. Travis at first. Donaldson remains in the batter's box. Right-hander comes set, and the pitch swung on, ground ball out at second, on to first, and a double play that ends the inning. Unable to capitalize in the top of the 6th inning. We head now to the home half of the 6th.
Favorites, classics, and must-see guests. Catch them weeknights right here on SportsCenter. Connect online 24/7 at Tim and Sid. They will be on following today's game. And Matt, their special guest, the newest Toronto Raptor, Corey Joseph. A very busy day in Raptorland, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Luis Scola announced last night on Twitter that he'll be a Toronto Raptor. DeMare Carroll, a press conference today, along with Pickering's very own Corey Joseph. Bismack Biyombo, very defensive-minded approach by Masai Ujiri, the president general manager, and then a veteran like Luis Scola.
A lot of surprises free agent day.
Oh, well, how about DeAndre Jordan?
Wow.
Says I'm going to go to Dallas, and everybody is kind of thinking about what direction he would go. He said, I'm going to go to Dallas, and then the next thing you know, he stays with the Clippers. And Chris Paul, along with Blake Griffin and Paul Pierce, they didn't leave his house the whole day.
Yeah.
Making sure.
Don't leave.
Sign. It's Eaton, Abreu, and Cabrera. Dickey has really had them confused today with that knuckler, and then also working in the fastball a little bit more than usual.
Another one, 2-0 fastball right there to Eaton.
Dances inside, down and in.
Well, if he throws it 2-0, you got to figure he's going to throw it 3-1 now. Doesn't want to walk Adam Eaton. Eaton again was the hero in last night's game with the walk-off home run. He might be looking for another one right here.
Eaton gives it a ride out into right center field. Off of the wall, played by Pilar in the track. Eaton is racing toward third. Here's the relay, and it sails over Donaldson. Great job by Dickey backing up the play. Otherwise, that was going to be a run. Dickey backing up the throw. The relay sailed high over Donaldson as Eaton gave it a ride. 7th triple this season, and the Sox in business here in the 6th.
He hit 10 triples last year. That was tied for first in baseball last year. 10 triples, and he gets another one right here. You're right. What a play by R.A. to back that play up, or that ball is in the dugout and a run was going to score. Eaton gave that one a ride.
Abreu singled last time up.
Infield halfway. I'm sure the White Sox are going to make the ball go through. You got a couple of shots to score from third base with less than 2 outs, so the infield's halfway. The runner will probably make that ball on the ground go through.
First game of the series, 4-2 in favor of the White Sox. Second game was a 2-1 victory by the Blue Jays last night. 7-6 in this one. Pitchers duel thus far as the pitch misses high. 1-2 now the count. Eaton with the lead at third, and Dickey deals a swing and a miss. A vicious cut by Abreu. That one was flooding around and he could not get a hold of it.
Nasty. Let's take a look at the triple one more time. You can see Kevin Pilar, the center fielder, shading him to left center, but he gets that head out, pulls the ball into the gap in right center field. Pilar gets the ball back in quickly, and even a good throw. I think he was going to be safe. Again, 10 triples last year, tied for first in the American League. That's his 7th right there. He's going to score on this ball to the backstop.
Gets away from Martin. Eaton scores. It's so tough to work back there.
You always have to be aware of that if you're the runner at the plate or a runner on the base, the batter at the plate, that this ball could get by the catcher. It gets by Russell Martin to the backstop, and an easy run for the White Sox.
So it's 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. Cabrera looks at a strike. Oh for 2 on the day. And Cabrera launches this one deep to right field, and it's gone. Coming alive are the bats on the south side.
Told you that Melky is starting to heat up, and when he does, you start to see a lot of extra base hits off of his bat. His 4th home run of the season. And the White Sox have now hit 12 home runs in their last 13 games, after just 14 in their previous 22. Knuckleball out over the plate, and Melky gets to it. That one looked like it cleared the bullpen of the Blue Jays.
Has 4 home runs, his 34th RBI. LaRoche 0 for 2. One away here in the bottom of the 6th. Started with a triple, then a pass ball. Dickey was able to handle Abreu, but then Melky just jumped on that pitch. Took the bat with him down the line.
That was a classic Melky swing right there, clearing the hips, hitting that bat through. That's just the 60th home run for the White Sox this year.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts here today for R.A. Dickey. And that's going to bring up Garcia. Avisail 0 for 2, but he reached base on an error back in the 5th.
How about that knuckleball? That one was floating up there.
The wind is really swirling around and whipping around, pushing everything toward that right field line. It looks as though that knuckler is really dancing around with that wind there. Garcia swings through it.
There's another one. That one, the bottom just dropped out of it. And Garcia, he's a free swinger. Not too many base on balls from this big guy.
Dickey got in trouble with Eaton when he got behind in the count. And this one hit down the right field line, and it is foul. It was twisting toward that corner. Count remains 0-2.
Talk about a free swinger in Garcia. He's got some power, and once he knows the strike zone a little bit better, he's going to become a better hitter. He has had, this is his 279th at bat of the season. He's had 15 walks all year long.
Had his second career 4-hit game last night. His other one was last season in April against Colorado. He's hitting above 400 in the month of July, 7th best.
Yeah, when you see low walks like that and high strikeouts, he's got 75. A respectable batting average at 281.
Played by Donaldson, and the long throw, and got him at first base. However, 2 runs scored. Melky Cabrera hits his 4th. A solo home run to deep right field. We head now to the 7th through 6. It's 2-0 White Sox.
Are at home, and it is Blue Jays weekend in Buffalo. On July 11th and 12th, they will face the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. On Saturday, the first 3,000 fans will receive a Bison's duffel bag. Sunday, the first 3,000 fans get a Bison's affiliation replica jersey. Also, a couple of former Blue Jays there, and they were good ones. Cecil Fielder and Mookie Wilson will be in attendance. Go to bisons.com for tickets. Matt?
All right, Barry, through all my years traveling, I have never seen the ballpark in Kansas City. I look forward to it. I've heard so many great things about it.
It is one of the nicest in all of baseball. A couple of years ago, they did a lot of renovations to it. You can completely walk around it now. The party areas, the great fountains, everything. You are really going to enjoy it.
I look forward to seeing it. Be nice if the Jays can come out of this one with a split in this series as they trail now 2-0 at the top of the 7th inning. Samardzija with a 2-run lead. And Bautista looks at a strike. He's 0 for 2. 1 for 15 in the series. Samardzija has his sign from Soto. And the pitch. Chopped to the third baseman. And Gillespie over to first. And Bautista 0 for 3.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Bautista, over his last 9 road games, including today's game, is 3 for 33. As Smoke fouls this one back.
Joe Siddle with the play. I see you. He caught it on a bounce.
now he's trying to. Yeah, look at that. He dropped it.
Gave it away.
Yeah.
That away, Joe. You still got it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Former catcher. Those soft hands. Into right field. And 2 down. Smoke missed one in the second to left, and that one was in on his hands a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Samardzija still has a pretty good fastball that he's able to get in there on Justin Smoke. Garcia with the play, puts his head down, thinks he's going to come in and go, good job. Oh, wait a minute. It's only 2.
And he's not even up next. He made the last out. You know, sometimes you're thinking, hey, I got to get up there.
Yeah, get ready to go hit. There hasn't been a lot of pitches this inning either. I don't know how you missed that one.
Martin 0 for 2. Top of the 7th. And a swing and a miss by Martin. You know, for Smoke, it's tough. You're not in there every day, right? And the rhythm, sometimes just missing those last 2. Swing and a miss.
That's one of the toughest things to do in baseball when you don't play every day. And the Blue Jays have run into a lot of left-handed starters. So Smokey hasn't been able to get the consistent at bats to keep that home run swing going.
Pitch inside. Samardzija has allowed just 2 hits. That was in the 6th when the Blue Jays had runners at the corners, and then Donaldson, certainly the player you want up in that situation, grounded into an inning-ending double play. And the pitch is outside.
How about that 96? Steer in the 7th inning, reaching back for a little something extra.
Working into the 7th. I mentioned this earlier. This is his 18th start. He's worked 7 innings or better, and 12 of his 17 entering today. Ground ball, chopped, and curving foul. So this is going to be the 13th time. Shortest outings this season, both on the road at Baltimore, 5 innings back in April, and 5 innings at Texas. Give him the baseball, he's going to go deep in a game.
How about that for a 1-2 punch? Chris Sale, Jeff Samardzija.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tana and Danks aren't bad either.
Well, you know, people talk about this, but you know, that football mentality, right? You know, go out there, give me the ball. I'm a starter. Give me the ball. Let me go to work. I'm going to work through it all. Just keep plugging away. It's that football hockey mentality. Line drive, base hit back through the middle for Martin, and with 2 outs, Navarro is going to be the batter. 2-out single.
What a good at bat right there by Russell Martin. He was fouling off some really tough pitches from Samardzija. He got some sliders and he got some splitters and then some well-placed fastballs, and now Samardzija can't afford to walk him, so he challenges him with a fastball, and Russell all over that one. Fastball away. Here it comes. Duck out of the way.
Out of the stretch, and Navarro swings at the first pitch, fouls it back. 2-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. 4th and final game of this series, and then on to KC. Samardzija struck out the side to begin the game in the top of the 1st. Struck out Travis, Donaldson, and Bautista. Only the 3rd hit off of him, as Martin got a 2-out single here in the 7th. Eaton calls off the left fielder Cabrera, and that's going to do it in the top of the 7th. Time for the 7th inning stretch. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 2-0 Sox. What it looks like for the Toronto Blue Jays as they'll take on the Royals next, and then it's the All-Star break, All-Star game, home run derby. You can see him on Sportsnet. You're home for 3 against the Rays, and then back out on the road. And starting in Detroit this past Friday, a stretch of 16 of 19 games, Tabby, on the road. And you know, a tough stretch.
Yeah.
So many road games. You know the record out on the road. You know what Drew Hutchison does out on the road.
Well, you want to be playing your best baseball when you're heading into this stretch here. And the theme, if you will, for the Blue Jays on this stretch is you're going to be facing some good pitching staffs. We've been talking about the Chicago White Sox and their pitching staff, but the best team in the American League right now, earned run average, Oakland. Right behind them, Kansas City, then Houston, and then Tampa Bay. I mean, those are the teams that we just saw on that schedule coming up for the Blue Jays.
Gillespie is out at first base. Let's send it to Jamie Campbell for an update. Jamie. Soto is the batter. Single in the 3rd and a walk in the 5th. One away here. Bottom of the 7th. And Dickey with the strike. Oh, that's what today's all about right there. Having fun at the ballpark. And the 3-1 misses. That is the second walk, both to Soto.
He hasn't been able to figure out Giovanni Soto this afternoon. A walk, or 2 walks and a base hit. He's been on base 3 times. You just have to just go out there and just keep pitching. You knew going into this ball game you were going to be in tough against Jeff Smarja. Just keep pitching. Maybe the offense can break through.
White Sox traded for Smarja on December 9th with 2014. 1 year, 9.8 left on the deal. He's definitely impressing some scouts in the stands today.
All you have to look at the numbers, you know.
Even last year, 2.99 combined.
Yeah.
ERA. He was 7-13 with a 2.99.
That's why 1-loss records, throw them out. He's playing with some teams that have not been able to score any runs for him. An ERA under 3 in 33 starts, and I believe that's 2 straight years that Smarja has made 33 starts. So he's durable. He gives you innings. He gives you a chance to win.
It is, in fact, 2 consecutive years. Go back to 2012, made 28 starts. Came up working out of the pen with the Cubs.
He and Felix Hernandez and Max Scherzer are the only pitchers over the last 2 years to throw at least 200 innings and have at least 200 strikeouts. I think I'd take that in my starting rotation.
Don't know, though. You know, talking Kenny Williams, you know, look, maybe this is a place he wants to stay. Lifted high in the air, Sanchez. Pilar coming in, but as he told Hazel May during the pregame show, he said, you know, I actually look forward to free agency. And Jeff Smarja said, look, it's going to be the first time, and you know, kind of look at everything, see exactly what the landscape is before making that decision.
Every player, when it gets to that point, has earned the right to find out what they're worth.
Yeah.
And make the decision based on their family. He's from around this area, so you know the Chicago teams are going to be in on it.
He grew up 40 miles from here in Indiana. Currently lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. Pitched down and away, which you have the White Sox spring training and also the Cubs spring training down that way. So,
but he has earned that right, and we'll see. One place, you know, one thing's for sure, he's going to go to a place I think that's going to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Because every player, when they get to that spot, they've made money, they've done their stuff in the game. Now it's time to win.
Yeah, it's something that, as you just mentioned, you know, you get to a stage of your career. As Beckham sends this one into right center field, and Bautista calls off Pilar. Happened recently with David West. Turned down $12 million to remain in Indiana and sign a deal in San Antonio. He wants to win.
July 18th, when the Blue Jays host the Rays at 107. Bring your kids down to the ballpark because there is lots to do outside of Gate 10. Inflatables, activities, and lots of fun. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Go to BlueJays.com for more details. Always a huge turnout of kids on the weekends, especially for Junior Jays Saturdays.
You got to love Junior Jays Saturday. John Gibbons goes over to R.A. Dickey and says, good job. The right-hander threw 7 innings. And once again, unfortunately for R.A. Dickey, just little run support, Tabby, as Pilar here in the top of the 8th inning to lead things off. Then Carrera and Goins.
Yeah, R.A. has pitched well, but he just seems to be matched up with a guy who's hot that day against the Blue Jays. Great offense. Last time out it was David Price. Today, Jeff Samardzija.
Swing and a miss. His last victory, June 18th, that was against the Mets, 7-1. He got a lot of run support that day. But over the last 3 games, as Ryan Tepera warms up, and the bullpen for the Blue Jays, and a total of 7 runs.
Can't win if your team doesn't score you any runs.
Yep.
You know, you just got to go out there and just take it for what it is. You just have to just keep battling.
Right-hander Samardzija deals. This one lifted into right field, but Garcia's right there. And there's one down here in the top of the 8th.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Soto goes out in front of home plate, looks over at the third baseman Gillespie, and Carrera.
Daniel Webb, the right-hander, starts to get loose.
And they're just talking about the threat of Carrera laying down a bunt, and he lines it right to the first baseman, LaRoche.
Well, you have to do something to try and get something started here. Not a bad idea right there. Trying to bunch your way on. F. Samardzija getting stronger as this game goes along.
He has not pitched a complete game this season. He has worked 8 full innings 3 times. Goins has been his one nemesis. A walk in the 3rd and then a single in the 6th, and a great diving stop. The throw to first got him. Beckham with the diving stop toward the hole on a hot smash off of the bat of Goins. Throws it short to LaRoche, but he digs it out, and it's a 1-2-3 8th. There it is. 2-0 White Sox. Let's go to Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn for a Blue Jays Central update. 7 innings and down 2-0.
Yeah, another good outing by R.A. Dickey. Last time he went 7 innings was at Tampa on June the 23rd. Only 2 earned runs, a triple and a home run, a single. How about 4 hits for R.A. matched up against Jeff Samardzija. White Sox were able to push across a couple of runs against him, and right now out of the ball game after 114 pitches. Ryan Tepera will pick him up here. Start the 8th inning. There are the numbers for Ryan. He's done a very nice job since coming up from the minor leagues. This is his second stint with the Blue Jays. An .078 whip, which is outstanding. Less than 1 runner per innings pitched.
Right-hander brings it to Eaton. Eaton started all the trouble in the 6th as he led the inning off with a triple. Scored on a pass ball, and then Cabrera ended up hitting a solo home run, and it's 2-0.
White Sox have only 4 hits.
I mean, R.A. Dickey did his job.
Yes, he did. Got his team late into the ball game, but just the bats have been silenced against Samardzija.
Pitch misses there, and the count 2-1. Dubrana and Tepera both brought up on July 3rd and both worked that day against the Tigers. Jennings, the left-hander, out there. In the 9th, it's Travis Donaldson and Bautista, as Eaton fouls it back once again.
Well, there's some speed at the plate with Adam Eaton. We saw the home run last night to win the game for the White Sox. He's also got some speed. Extra base pop in that bat, splits the outfield and right field, and hustles for his 7th triple of the season. He would score on a pass ball right before the home run by Melky Cabrera.
Swing and a miss. One down here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
This time he goes down. Ryan Tepera with a beautiful fastball down and away. Got some nice movement on it.
Yeah. Jose Abreu is the batter. Struck out in the 1st, singled in the 4th, and then struck out again in the 6th. And that was a key at bat. So you thought back in the 6th inning with Eaton over there at 3rd base, and you got by Abreu, but then the pass ball, Cabrera the home run, but R.A. gets out of that inning. Fanning, LaRoche, and then Garcia grounded out to Donaldson. So 2-0 here, and Tepera deals, and it's fouled off, and the count now quickly 0-2.
95 with movement. Pretty impressive right there from Ryan Tepera.
Right-hander with the 0-2, and foul back this way. You know, it's been a frustrating series for the Blue Jays, no doubt. Burley pitched magnificently on a Monday, and you end up losing a couple of errors. Lose 4-2. But you come back and you win the next game in a tough one, a 1-run game, 2-1. And then last night unable to hold that 6-4 lead. Hutchison worked 5 innings. And it wasn't a smooth 5 innings.
No, it was rocky for both pitchers last night. John Danks and Drew Hutchison. But you mentioned the Blue Jays were winning that ball game and then lost late.
Abreu back through the middle past Travis, and a 1-out base hit, a 2-hit day. Drive of the Game is brought to you by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 17 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, we saw this 16 times last year from Melky Cabrera. 16 home runs when he was a Blue Jay. He signs as a free agent with the Chicago White Sox. Now, the power stroke hasn't been there for him yet this year. This is Melky's just his 4th home run of the season. It's our drive of the game this afternoon.
Double play depth through the middle. Smoke holds on the runner, and a ground ball foul, and the count 0-1. Tepera, a right-hander. In relief for Dickey. Cabrera now calls time. Melky 1 for 3 on the day. And the pitch is down and in. Trying to keep it 2-0 for Travis Donaldson and Bautista in the top of the 9th inning. Robertson, their closer, worked an inning last night. That was the 10th.
If they were going to use him, they would probably have him up right now throwing. The way Jeff Samardzij's throwing, why would you have to go to your bullpen?
Yeah.
Robin Ventura says, I want to leave my starter out there.
Ground ball chopper. Tepera is going to handle it and toss it over to Smoke, and there are 2 down as Abreu moves down to second base on the dribbler. And Adam LaRoche is going to be the batter here.
And Russell Martin out to the mound. You've got first base open now, and a left-handed hitter in LaRoche, a right-hander on deck in Garcia. So you can figure out if you want to pitch around LaRoche, try not to get burned. Take your chances with the right-hander.
I don't know. LaRoche, he's only hitting 189 at home this year, and his first RBIs of July came last night. Garcia is on deck. Let's see how they handle him, and a pitch down low and in, and gets away from Martin, and now over to third is Abreu.
Looked like he overthrew that slider.
Wild pitch.
Throws it to the backstop.
Nothing you can do there if you're Martin. LaRoche. Waits patiently. Tepera deals and fouled right back.
That's a big run out there.
Yeah.
For Tepera to save.
A little tack on run.
Yeah, it's a big run because if the Blue Jays get one guy on in the 9th inning, a tying run comes to the plate. John Gibbons knows that. Pete Walker knows that. That's a big run to try and save.
2 outs, and the 1-1 on its way. And a strike. Now David Robertson up. Robertson, the right-hander.
Doesn't look like he's getting loose to come into the game. Just maybe they need an out.
Yep. Hit in the air. Right to Pilar, drifting back a little bit as the wind took it. We head now to the top of the 9th inning. Travis Donaldson and Bautista to face Jeff Samardzij as the Blue Jays trail by 2. Let's go to the 9th.
breaking news, scores, stats, and video highlights. Download free today. Go to sportsnet.ca for more information.
Always great to check out the new app as Travis makes his way to the batter's box. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts.
Marge trying to complete this game. It would be the 6th time in his career that he's had a complete game. His last one was with Oakland last year. In fact, he threw 2 with Oakland after he got traded to the A's.
Jays only threatened once. That was in the 6th inning. He had runners at the corners and 1 out. Donaldson hit into a double play to end the inning, and Devin Travis is aboard. Travis takes a turn at first, and there's a runner aboard here in the top of the 9th inning. Hey, let's check in with Tim and Sid. They're coming up after today's game. How about that? Personal hero, huh?
It's my boys right there.
Tim and Sid, along with the Blue Jays postgame show, all coming up with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Tim and Sid.
See how important that run was to save last inning. Blue Jays get that first runner on, and you got the power of the lineup coming up now, representing the tying run.
Travis 2 for 4 on the day. Donaldson hitless. He was 5 for 10 entering today in the series. Samardzija out of the stretch and the pitch, and it misses down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield deep, as you would expect. Trying to keep everything in front of him.
That is a tying run at the plate. You don't want him to get into scoring position.
Pitch away, and Soto is able to backhand it. And the count now 2-1.
Samardzija, for the most part today, he has really stayed together. He hasn't overthrown a lot of pitches. I've only seen a couple where he reached back for a little something extra and it flew out of the strike zone. His splitter has been golden this afternoon.
Robertson starting to heat up just a little bit more out there in the bullpen, as the count is now 3-1.
Yeah, throwing a little bit different than what we saw when the Blue Jays were in the field, where he was just trying to get loose. Maybe if he needs 1 batter. Now he's starting to heat it up.
Travis with the lead at first, and the 3-1 pitch, ground ball, chopped back at second base, flipped over to second, out on the first, got him. 4-6-3 double play.
You know, that was a very difficult double play based on where the ball was. Watch the second baseman Sanchez, where he catches the ball behind the bag. He has to flip it to Beckham, and now that's all arm strength right there. Beckham flips it over to get the double play, throws it behind him, spins. You got the runner to deal with, arm strength, double play. That's 88 double plays now that the White Sox have turned this year.
Can Bautista keep it alive? Sox fans on their feet. Count 0-1. Bautista in an extended conversation with Chad Fairchild about the strike zone. 1 hit in the series, and now down to his last strike here to Jeff Samardzija, looking for that complete game. A complete game shutout. The Sox trying to take this series. They've won 6 of their last 8 home games. And the offering to Bautista, not chasing.
He overthrew that one. 97. Still in the tank on his 105th pitch of the afternoon.
Samardzija with a 1-2. Down low and away, 2-2. And if all the rumors are true about the trade conversations with Jeff Samardzija, on a day like today, maybe you're going to be able to now get another player. Right?
Price just went up.
Yeah, just add one more. Here's a 2-2, 2-out pitch, and it misses away.
He's overthrown those last 3 pitches. He got it up 0-2 against Bautista, and then tried to finish him off with a flare.
Now Bautista, very patient approach. 65 walks on the season. He doesn't chase. The 3-2, 2-out pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. And a complete game shutout for Jeff Samardzija.
He went back to that breaking ball. 3-2 to Bautista. It's been so good for him all afternoon long. When the fastball didn't work, the splitter, the slider, the curveball, everything worked for him. As he picks up his 6th career complete game, he was in total control all afternoon.
Blue Jays lose the series to the White Sox. It's on to Kansas City. And guess what's coming up? You got Jamie, Zonnie, Tim, and Sid. It's all happening right now.